Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to show you a few things I made with my new printable kit, Earthsong. So I'll begin with this one. I already have a tutorial on how to make this kind of trifold. I made it for my kit Reminisce, and I'll link in the description below where to find that. But here we have a waterfall simply in the center. And I added a deeper pocket here with a little notepad. So I thought that would be just a little different. Also in the original that I made, I put this envelope on this flap, but I just wanted to make it a little different. Oh, and another thing I did is I added an extra flap here using just kind of like a hinge. And just to add a little more interest. So all of these tutorials can be modified to your liking, and you can change things up and add things or remove things. If you don't want to have a waterfall, you don't have to put one in, but this is just an example of what can be done. I'm not actually making a tutorial for this because I already did with the Reminisce kit. And it's basically the same principle. And I've included these waterfall pieces and this envelope with this printable kit. So this is my first example. And this is another one. So here I made a cover in much the same way as I did for my garden journal. So I just used a cereal box, covered it up, and made my cover. And then I made some signatures, which I sewed into a spine and glued that to the center. And then I just felt like it was a little loose, so I added, like I did for my garden journal, I added a little bit of something to hold it closer to the spine. So I didn't finish decorating this. I just started doing a few pages here and there. And I used old books and music books and ledger papers and pages from a notebook, just random things that I gathered together to make my signatures, and put these together, bound with one of the papers from my kit. And I made 3 signatures and sewed those in. So there we go. It's not finished, but you get an idea of what can be done. And I really like this map paper because it reminds me of an old book. Oh, and I liked using this here as a closure. So the idea is that I'm going to put Velcro at this end, and when it's full, I will Velcro this closed like that. And then it'll open this way. And at the same time, it makes a little pocket. So I made kind of a trifold, not a trifold, but I don't even know what this is called. I just took a piece of paper and added things to it, and then I invented this, right? Made it fold together like that, added pockets. It's not finished. It's just an idea in the making. But you can see much of the same ideas of making a belly band, another pocket there. I've got a few cards. I could do some more stuff here, etc. So there we go. That's going here. So there's some ideas of what can be done using the printable kit Earthsong. I hope that it gives you some inspiration. Hi, I'm back, and I thought I would just give you a little bit of background information on what inspired this kit. And it's in these 2 cards right here. Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. I've never been to Newfoundland, but I have some dear friends from there. However, I was born in Nova Scotia. All of my childhood was there. And then we moved to Quebec, where I had my youth and young adulthood and most of my parenting years. And now we moved to Moncton, New Brunswick. So the Maritimes hold a special place in my heart, and I'm happy to have this in as part of the kit. However, it's not just about the Maritimes. It's basically coastal living and good people of the earth, and that is what really inspired the kit. So it's about people with grace and grit, that have an honest living, that have quiet strength, people with an old soul that are carried by grace. And to me, the Maritimes is home, so I'm homeward bound when I think of coming to this area. And so I try to include things that remind me of the people and the history of the place, the coastal villages, and then of course I always love having birds in my kits. So I always have a bunch of birds, and that's the song. The area where my son lives, there's a lot of bird watching and migratory birds that come through, so that's also part of it. There's the beautiful landscape, and then just, you know, old furniture. You wonder what this has to do with Earthsong. Well, that's it. It's the old homes, the history of the place, and then going in through nature and being connected to nature. I just love going on hikes in the area, and that's why I have some word art like adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. So it's having a slower pace of life. Nature doesn't hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Because, you know, through life, we're always in a rush. So I just want to take my time. This new season of life for me is all about reconnecting with who I really am and my true self, if you want, or the person I was in my youth. And this is part of it. Simple mercies. Of course, I always love to have a Bible verse in there or some nod to my faith. All creation sings his praise. I have another one here. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. And then there's the papers, the prints. There's the Scottish, you know, the kilts, oh, I just love it. I love the history, the music. So that's basically what inspired this kit. And I hope that comes through with the elements and the images that I chose to work with, that you get a feel for that. There you go.